Welcome to the super fun game review podcast. Go Mega Ultra Between Review Show. Down. Hey,
MUBRS. It's tradition now.
It is tradition, as is tradition. All right, guys. Welcome to MUBRS tonight. So it's just me and Harold.
The important characters.
The important characters. So tonight I was just gonna open it up with what we've been playing. Go ahead, Ari.
So when we were at Too Many Games, I had the pleasure of speaking with the guys that created the game The Great Gaias. And I remember I was talking to you guys about that game at the convention. Like, I think this game is, like, really up my alley.
Yeah, I took one look at it and was like, yeah, Harry's probably going to go home and buy this. Do you regret not buying it for $10 cheaper at the...
Yeah, I probably should have at the time. I definitely probably should have.
Fair enough.
But I had the card, and I kept, like, glancing at it here and there and be like, nah, I don't need that game in my life. It's a PC game. I don't do PC games. But I hit my vacation, and I wanted a new game to play, and I actually shuffled around in GameStop the other day for about 45 minutes, handed out some business cards to people there while I was in the store.
Okay.
But I don't know, I looked around, because what I really wanted to play was Civilization Revolution, and they didn't release it on PS4. I checked on the PlayStation Store. You can do that. What is it, PlayStation Play?
PlayStation Now.
PlayStation Now to do it.
Their streaming service.
I don't feel like doing that. Not interested in that service.
I'm going to end up doing it. I know I'm going to end up doing it once for one of the podcast games. It's going to get to like one of those games where it's like going to be like, oh, it's $150 if I want to get it for the PS3 or PS2, and I'm like, fuck that.
I mean, they do have the free trial on it, so it's good
Right.
if you want to just activate it, play one game to completion, and then deactivate it. I'd probably do that as well if I had a hard time getting a particular game. So I couldn't find Civ Revolution. I found like a copy for the 360, but it didn't have the regular cover art. It was one of those GameStop cases.
Didn't you have that for the 360?
I think I did.
Oh, okay. Lost in the mix.
Yeah. So I was kind of bummed about that. I really didn't see anything else there I was interested in. There was some other like spoofy type of sim game in space for the PlayStation 4. It was like $20. I'll have to look it up. I think
Was it Kerbal Space Program?
No,
Okay.
It was not that. But it was like definitely build your own space station. It looked very, I don't know, very sim-ish, and it described the game as like a sim-like game on the case.
It wasn't Stellaris, was it? No, because that's not for the PS4. That's for PC.
I thought it was Terra something, or the Terra blank, or the blank Terra, or something like that.
Okay, all right.
I'll try to get a title for you later. So anyway, I went home kind of bummed because I had a lot of time and nothing planned for this vacation. So I was like, you know what? Let me just check out that game. Check out the reviews on it and everything. And I was reading some of the user reviews. People had pretty high praise for it. I watched the trailer again. I was like, this game just like looks like perfect for me. So I ended up downloading it, and I've already sunk about 10 hours into the game in the past 3 days. I want to say 2-3 days.
Damn.
I'm really, really enjoying it. Now there are some bugs still with it, but it's a private developer, so I don't think they had a big development team, so I imagine there are some bugs, and it looks like they're fixing them as they're coming up, because people are posting, hey, I found bug in such and such area, such and such chapter of the game, and they're like, got it, worked it, it's complete, and then sent a patch. So it seems like they're staying on top of it. It just released like a month ago. But for anybody who likes like the Final Fantasy VI era type feel, it feels a lot like that, with the sprinkle of Dungeons and Dragons. I'll explain both. So the Final Fantasy VI, it's like the big open world. I mean, it's kind of guided through the first part of the game just to get the story under wraps. But There's, I think, 17 playable characters that you can interchange your party, just like with Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah.
Like, and they're all unique, like, and they're all D&D classes. Your ranger, druid, I have a priestess, a cleric.
Well, if you remember, when we were talking to the developer of the game, he said the game is based off of their D&D campaign.
Yeah, no, I think they said that in the notes as well. Like, it's off of, like, a played-through campaign. So,
which I think is awesome as somebody who played a lot of D&D with the person that I'm sitting across the table from. Like,
and
you were an excellent DM.
Thank you.
And a lot of that stuff would have been cool to see in a video game type of deal.
It would be. Like, some of our...
Me lifting a kraken out of the sky, or out of the water, and throwing it into the space.
Speaking of kraken, I just got to a kraken battle, and it fucking, like, destroyed me.
You need a high-powered druid.
I didn't have the druid in the party for that one. But it's like...
The druid is the key, Harry.
I like how the classes in this game are very distinct. Like, my one party for a while was I had the thief, which is kind of like your main character at this point. I hear like later in the game you can fully change up the party, but he's kind of like the cloud of the game right now, where
he can't be changed out.
Exactly.
Okay.
But I hear that opens up later in the game. But he has like all his steal abilities. He could steal health, steal armor, like all that kind of shit. He does like a sneak attack for extra damage and everything. I had it's a dwarven barbarian. He has the rage ability, right? Level 1. Like, you can just rage every single battle.
Exactly like D&D.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It raises his health and like his attack, but it lowers his defense kind of thing, like just like D&D.
Yeah.
And he gets like headbutt abilities and crazy like smash attacks, and
that's cool.
Oh, he even has the attack from D&D, cleave, where he can hit multiple enemies.
Such a dangerous game. Such a dangerous. Harry, you keep playing footsies with me under the table. You can't come all the way over here.
I like to stretch out.
Boundaries.
And then I had like the paladin. He has this one move where it's like, I think it's charge, or I forget what it's called, but it takes all the characters off the screen for a second. There's this like double bolt of lightning, and then you just see him like like riding this horse across the screen with his lance and everything. It's just like really cool how distinct these characters are and how true they stay to the classes within D&D. And there's even a D20 counter in the game that, like, when you're disabling traps or unlocking doors or chests, it rolls a D20, and then that plus your stat at that time determines whether you do it or not. So there's a random aspect in the game with exploring as well. But no, I really enjoy the game, and I think the artwork is cool. Like, when you do like a spell, like they have the old like Super Nintendo graphics when they were doing like Final Fantasy VI spells, but it's like the spells are like modernized now. Like when you do like a wind spell, like this mini cyclone that looks like borderline 3D just like pops up over this like 2D Nintendo generation like sprite. Like the contrast is crazy, but it works.
Okay.
And like the animations of the sprites, it's like the old sprite look with like new movement and like thumbs up. Like it's a little bit more detailed.
Okay.
It just looks cool. It takes that classic feel and modernizes it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, totally. I think we said that about Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight was one of those games that did that exact thing. They took the old school sprites and made it kind of modern.
Yes. Yeah. And I like that, because I do like that retro feel, but it is nice to play something current at the same time. This is kind of like the best of both worlds kind of thing.
Awesome.
So I have a long ways to go, but I would like to just toss out the idea of doing like a private episode, which I have some a hidden agenda for.
All right. Well, you have your hidden agenda. That's fine.
So why don't you talk about a game that you've passed Ralph in recently? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh.
So Ralph's been playing Breath of the Wild, pretty much since it came out, and I've been talking to him about it, and I started to notice that I was sharing things with him that he didn't know. And I thought that was really weird, because I've only had the game for like a week. So we get to the point now where I have surpassed Ralph in like a week and a half when he's been playing the game for a year. So, and I mean, I've had people ask me that listen to the podcast, you know, why is Ralph always the one that isn't finishing the game? And I can tell you, it's because he's slow.
In real life and in games.
Yeah. We speed Ralph's vocals up like, 1.5 everything. Except for the Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
That's just Ralph's regular voice.
I'm trolling you, Clark.
Yeah. Yep, that's pretty much it.
Calm down, Ralph.
Yeah, calm down, Ralph. No, so I've been playing Breath of the Wild, and I have to say it's an incredible game. So far, I mean, I'm halfway through if you think about it in terms of like dungeons, because there's like the beginning of the game, and then the world opens up to you, and then there's 4 dungeons that you can do in any order, and then you fight Ganon. I have 2 of them checked off the block so far. So I'm starting to work on the 3rd dungeon, in fact. I was doing that moments before Harry got here.
Got it.
I've been like full-blown obsessed with it too. I mean, like, I don't know if you've noticed, but like I haven't been playing Siege. Like I've been
You jump on when all the friends jump on.
Yeah, when like everyone's on. Yes, I'm not the first person online anymore though.
No.
On PS4, probably until I beat Breath of the Wild. Honestly, like I am enjoying this so much, and since the only other Zelda game that I had beaten previous to this was Majora's Mask, I think this is a superior game, and I'm actually way more into it. Like, I love Majora's Mask, and this is like, it's constantly, again and again, just incredible. And it surprises me, and it changes the way that you like play certain things and tweak certain things, and it's really weird. It's an odd marriage between like Dark Souls. There's a little more Dark Souls in it.
Is it hard? Like to that difficulty level?
Not quite.
Okay.
But like there's no real direction in the game either. Like you can do like some of the main quests and stuff, and it'll mark it on your map and things like that, which isn't a Dark Souls thing. But you can totally like find yourself in a zone where you can't go anywhere, or you have to sneak around and like try to get through it because everything will murder you in a hit. I actually managed to get through one of those and get to the Divine Beast before so what's really crazy is I managed to do the first dungeon without doing the first quest after the world opens up in the game. Like literally they're like, hey, go talk to this person. And I'm like, nah. And I literally went off and did the water dungeon. Like I just randomly found it in the world. And it's kind of interesting. It seems like it kind of casts a net of NPCs out there that they'll start funneling you towards the dungeons when you get close to them. They'll be like, oh, hey, like, did you see that weird thing in the water over there? And then you go talk to the weird thing in the water, and it's like, hey, there's a prince up at this bridge, like, right north of us that's, like, looking for somebody. So you walk up there because you're piqued, you're curious. You walk up, and then I ended up just doing the the first fucking water dungeon. And then I was like, huh, half of my, like, basic stuff is still locked. I should probably go do some of the tutorial stuff. Like, it was really crazy just how quickly that game just kind of allows you to just go off the rails. It's really non-linear, and I appreciate the fuck out of it.
That's good.
Yeah. And they do things like there's like temperature and terrain matters, and you have to like eat to get your hearts back. You don't just find hearts in the world anymore. You have to actually like eat food and stuff like that. You have to actually collect things in the world and like scavenge and stuff like that. It's pretty awesome. It's a little more mature too.
Is it?
Just a little bit. I feel like it's
I kind of got that feel from the art style that they went with. Like it doesn't feel as like a bright color palette. It feels like a little darker tones, unless I'm mistaken for that. But like some of the art I've seen, it looks like it went that direction.
Yeah, it's very like without getting into too many spoilers and stuff, the only spoiler that I'm going to give you guys right now is that Ralph and I do plan to, with possibly a special guest, give us a full review.
Oh, he's special, all right.
If I had played this last year, it might have been my game of the year, and since I'm playing it this year, so far, it's the best game that I've played this year.
Wow.
Like, hands down.
High praise.
Like, yeah. Especially because I love, love, love Detroit. And this isn't a story-based game, but playing this game is more fun, and I'm having a better just general experience with this game than I did with Detroit. And I love Detroit, and that doesn't take anything away from that game. Also, before we talk about H1Z1, guys, make sure that you go vote on the poll. The poll is up on our Facebook, and make sure you go vote on that. We'll keep the tallies, and we'll get it out to you as soon as possible. Thank you.
Cool. Hey, so let's talk about the games that are on the poll. So we have Persona 5. Oh, shit. What's that one?
I've never even heard of that game.
Hold on.
Shit, what's that one?
Yeah, hold on. Let me just bring it up real quick. Oh, fuck.
Title menu music for that is, oh, shit, what's that one?
Oh, man. Here we go. All right, so the games we have. Inside. Hyper Light Drifter. Condemned to Bloodshot.
Ooh.
Persona 5. And Bayonetta.
Ooh.
So,
dig it.
Yeah, so hop on there, guys. We've never maxed out the amount of votes. Like, this can only take 40 before I have to, like, pay for the poll. So
right.
Let's get those submissions, like, maxed out ASAP, and then we can get this episode live to you from Pennsylvania.
Live from Pennsylvania.
All right, cool. I just wanted to mention that. I'm good on the MUBRS. Turn this shit off. Go into work, motherfucker.
He doesn't mean it. He loves you all. Especially Ralph.